Hey, this is Matt with Virtue Solar. Just wanted to give you an overview of the Enphase Enlighten monitoring app. I'm actually viewing this on the computer. It looks very similar to if you have the app on your phone. Android versus iPhone, slightly different, but this is pretty much what you'll look at when you log in. If you haven't received an email from us with access, please reach out and we'll send it to you right away. But once you get into the app or website, this is what you'll be looking at, sort of an overview of what's going on with your home for the day. So this is at 9 o'clock in the morning. So not much has happened here, but house has consumed some energy over the night, and we just started producing a little bit of solar here. If you go over to array, this is typically what we're most concerned with. So it's morning. We've got the layout of the solar panels on our various roofs here. Um, I can see, lifetime production over here. And these are actually color coded or heat mapped rather. So, these are kind of dark in color, meaning they're not really producing much energy yet today. But as the day goes on and they produce more, then the color will turn a lighter color of blue. So if I go back to yesterday, okay, here's a full day of production. Everything looks normal. These values are all relatively similar. And we have a little shading down here, but I know that that's representative of where these panels are. So there is a tree that adds a little bit of shade to these. So this all looks normal to me. One thing to look at is if you have an issue and one of your panels is not producing, one of these panels will show like a very dark color. It may show a little flag. And if it's just showing for today, if it's very current data, it's not necessarily cause for alarm. That could be because if there's an issue with Wi-Fi, if there's something slow reporting, we would typically want to see if it stays, you know, if it's a persistent issue for more than one day. So if you go back to a day where it looks like everything has loaded in, does that still show up? So if we look at the day before that, and you have one that's blacked out, then that's definitely something we would want to look at. Could be a loose connector, could be a faulty microinverter. So if you see something like that, definitely give us a buzz. The other thing you might want to look at, which is very interesting, is we can go to month, year, lifetime production on this. It's always good information to have. But if we go to energy, um, this is always very helpful. You can see, how much energy a system is produced. So on lifetime, I can see how much I produced in 2023, how much I produced in 2022. You can of course go, look at what you produced for the various months. And it'll also show you, how much you're using from the grid. So in this house, uh, about two-thirds of our energy comes from the grid, or sorry, comes from solar, and the rest comes from the grid. There's also this grid dependence indicator. Um, this I get questions about a lot, and I pretty much tell everyone to just fully ignore this. This is really designed more for if you wanted to design a completely off-grid house. And with net metering and the way we design systems today, it's really not a very helpful metric. So don't let this confuse you. Especially you could have a perfectly net zero house and pay essentially no electric bills, and this might tell you that your grid dependence is 60%. So don't let that fool you. But yeah, so here you can see all that data. Your system may or may not have consumption monitoring, depending on whether or not it was able for us to install it, depending on the electrical configuration. If it does, you'll also see consumption data, which I've just enabled here. And if I go to the daily view, it'll look a little bit more like this. So you can see through the night, for us, heat pumps kicked on, things like that, circulating through the night. And then, as we get to the daylight hours, I can see the solar production cutting in here. So I hope that's helpful. And if you have any questions or need help with anything, don't hesitate to let us know. Thanks.